Hello, class. This lecture, we will cover the last testimony of John the Baptist and Jesus' acceptance in Samaria. John chapter 3, verses 22 through 36. So let's go ahead and proceed. Look at verse 22. After these things, Jesus and his disciples came into the land of Judea. And there he was spending time with them and baptizing. John also was baptizing in Aenon near Salem because there was much water there, and people were coming and were being baptized. For John had not yet been thrown into prison. Therefore there arose a discussion on the part of John's disciples with a Jew about purification. While Jesus was ministering in the Judean countryside, John the Baptist was baptizing in Aenon near Salem because there was much water there. John's baptism raised a question in the minds of some over the matter of ceremonial cleansing. Evidently, some Jews sought to discredit John because he did not properly follow the Jewish tradition concerning cleansing with water and sought to generate a conflict between John and Jesus. Verse 26. Let's read. And they came to John and said to him, Rabbi, he who was with you beyond the Jordan, to whom you have testified, behold, he is baptizing, and all are coming to him. John answered and said, a man can receive nothing unless it has been given him from heaven. You yourselves are my witnesses that I said I am not the Christ, but I have been sent ahead of him. He who has the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom who stands and hears him rejoices greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. So this joy of mine has been made full. An attempt was made to divide and consequently dissipate the effectiveness of John and Jesus by trying to provoke John and his disciples to jealousy. Multitudes were leaving John and adhering to Jesus, but this was exactly what John intended. Obviously, the fomenters could not understand this. To explain, John used the imagery of a wedding banquet. Jesus is the bridegroom who is to be honored. John is the friend of the bridegroom who rejoices when he hears the bridegroom's voice. Now let's read verse 30. He must increase, but I must decrease. He who comes from above is above all. He who is of the earth is from the earth and speaks of the earth. He who comes from heaven is above all. What he has seen and heard of that he testifies, and no one receives his testimony. He who has received his testimony has set his seal to this, that God is true. For whom God has sent speaks the words of God, for he gives the Spirit without measure. The Father loves the Son and has given all things into his hand. He who believes in the Son has eternal life, but he who does not obey the Son will not see life, but the wrath of God abides in him. John predicted what had been observed, that Jesus had attracted more disciples than he would become even more. This would become even more evident. Then John, this is John the Baptist, testified to the superiority of Jesus. John's origin was from the earth, so he speaks as one of the earth. However, Jesus' origin was from heaven, so he was superior. He who comes from heaven is above all. The record indicates that there would be two responses to the revelation from Jesus. One, some would accept it, and two, some would reject it. And the sources for this lecture was adapted from the book the words and works of Jesus Christ, which is authored by J. Dwight Pentecost.